When you picture an AI data center, you probably think of these huge racks of GPUs, right? Just rows and rows of them. But what feeds all that power? That's what we're diving into today. The absolutely critical and honestly often overlooked challenge of storage. All right, so just to set the stage, this is part 6 of a 15-part tutorial. It's all based on this incredibly detailed report, Building Large-Scale AI Data Centers, a comprehensive technical guide from Virtualization Options LLC. In this explainer, we're zeroing in on the key points from Chapter 6, which is all about storage systems. Okay, so let's just cut right to the chase with a simple question. Imagine you've got this army of, say, 10,000 GPUs. They're super powerful, super expensive, and they're all ready to go. How in the world do you feed them all the data they need all at once? Well, to even begin to answer that, you have to wrap your head around the sheer scale of AI's appetite for data. I mean, it is just unlike anything we've seen in traditional IT. The numbers are absolutely staggering. So, get this. A pretty typical 1,000 GPU training cluster can chew through data at a rate of 500 to 800 times gigabytes per second. And no, that is not a typo. That's a constant, relentless fire hose of data that your storage system has to deliver, non-stop. So to try and make that number make sense, processing 800 gigabytes a second, that's like reading 1.5 million emails every single second. That's the kind of mind-boggling flow of information we're talking about here. And here's the kicker. If your storage can't keep up, what happens? Well, those super expensive multi-million-dollar GPUs, they just sit there, idle, waiting for data. So this isn't just some techie performance problem. It's a massive financial black hole. If you under-provision your storage, you are literally just burning money on GPUs that aren't working. So it's pretty clear this challenge needs a totally new way of thinking about storage architecture, right? You can't just dust off the old blueprints. We need something built from the ground up for AI. And that means engineering a whole new kind of data pipeline. And this slide really shows you that fundamental shift. On one side, you have traditional storage. It was all about low latency, right? Super quick responses to one request at a time. But on the other side, for AI, the name of the game is sustained throughput, just a massive continuous flow of data to thousands of clients simultaneously. We're moving from single-file lines to a giant 12-lane superhighway. So how do you actually build this thing? Well, it's not just one magic box. It's a whole stack of technologies that have to work in perfect harmony. You need things like parallel file systems to handle all those simultaneous requests. You need blazing fast NVMe storage for the raw speed. And then you need this specialized high-radix networking to create those super wide data lanes so you don't get any traffic jams. Okay, but it's not all about speed, is it? I mean, a big AI training job can run for weeks, sometimes even months. So how do you protect all that progress? How do you keep that super valuable data safe without totally killing the performance you just worked so hard to build? It's a really critical balancing act. The secret here is to understand that not all data is created equal. Over on one side, you've got your training data sets. Sure, they need to be available, but if something terrible happens, you can probably just re-download them. Your recovery time might be a few hours, but it's not the end of the world. But then you have your checkpoint data. This is the crown jewels. This is the snapshot of your model's progress after weeks of grinding away. It is irreplaceable. So it needs much higher protection. We're talking replication to a whole separate cluster. And you need to get it back in minutes, not hours. All right, so we've got the high-level architecture, we've got our protection strategy. Now let's get down to brass tacks. How do you actually size one of these massive storage systems? And maybe more importantly, how do you run the thing without shooting yourself in the foot and causing your own outages? So the report we're drawing from lays out this really smart 5-step approach. First, you figure out your total bandwidth requirement. Simple enough. Then, you calculate how many clients, how many GPUs will be hitting the storage. From there, you estimate the throughput you can get from a single storage server. That lets you calculate how many servers you need. And the last step, which is crucial, is you check if that number of servers also gives you enough storage capacity. It's a great way to see if your design is going to be limited by speed or by space. And this is what you're aiming for. This is the whole goal of that sizing exercise. You want to hit this sweet spot, a perfectly balanced system. The target is to keep those GPUs busy 80 to 90% of the time. And at the same time, you want your storage capacity to be somewhere in that 60 to 70% full range. That's how you know you're not wasting a ton of money on idle GPUs or on storage you don't even need. Okay, time for a little reality check. We spend all this energy and money designing systems to survive hardware failures, right? But what do you think is the single biggest cause of outages in a data center? I'll bet the answer is going to surprise you. Yeah, it's not hard drives dying or power supplies blowing up. The data is pretty clear on this. A whopping 60 to 80% of all failures are caused by us, human activity. Things that go wrong during maintenance or system updates. It turns out most of the time we are our own worst enemy.
So how do the really well-run data centers avoid this? It all comes down to one thing: operational discipline. They're smart about it. They schedule maintenance when things are quiet. They have a formal review board, a CAB, that looks at the risk of every single change. They insist on having detailed plans for how to do the change and, just as importantly, how to back out if things go wrong. And of course, anything risky gets tested in a lab first. It's not magic, it's just really, really good process.
All right, as we start to wrap this up, if you remember just 3 things from this deep dive, make it these. First, AI storage is all about bandwidth. It's a throughput problem, period. Second, treat your data differently. Be smart about balancing protection and cost. Don't overprotect data you can just re-download. And finally, discipline is everything. Most outages don't just happen. They're preventable with good processes. And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. Is your storage architecture an enabler, or is it a bottleneck? Because the right system can unlock incredible AI innovation, but the wrong one will just cripple everything. As AI keeps changing our world, the foundation we build for it matters more than ever. So which one are you building?